Thank you so much for kicking things off, Natalie. Of course, that's not always the easiest thing to do, especially with this brand new project. So thank you very much. You'll find that when you post first, a lot of students will follow your lead. So that's fantastic. I'm so glad you did some excellent research here. And I think you got a lot of good stuff going. I'm going to comment on everything you have here in 1 second. But those of you who are watching along, this is really great research, which I'm going to address in a second. But Natalie, I got a few recommendations and comments, but again, I just want to thank you for kicking things off. Never the easiest thing in the world to do, so I appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. It's a project that comes from information from market research and goals. This is really super valuable information right here. And guys, those of you who are following along and watching, this is excellent information because this really drives the data analysis to a level where we can actually look at this data right here and kind of almost ascertain the bigger problem. All right, what are we doing here, Natalie? What are we doing here, guys? Are we just designing a vehicle configurator? No, absolutely not. We're out to change the way people buy cars. And that's the scope. That's the big picture here, all right? And one of the ways that we're going to do that is look, what's the problem with buying cars, right? The problem is going in and being high pressure, getting sold something you don't need, you don't want, features you'll never use, right? I mean, the salesman is out for themselves. They're commission salesmen, and they're out to get the biggest sale possible. That part's easy to figure out, right? The hard part is to figure out, how can we change this? How can we make this more human-centered? How can we make this more applicable to the needs of the purchaser as opposed to the needs of the salesperson and or the dealership, right? So those are what we're after. Again, guys, I just want to reiterate, we're not out here. We're not just designing a new vehicle configurator. No, that's just a part of it. What we're out for, again, I'm going to repeat this because it's worth mentioning. Again, we're out to change the way folks buy cars. That's the big picture, right? All right, Natalie. So the task is going to be find with merge concepts and create an interface to stand. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to see this right here. Sorry. People look forward to the values, which also suggests the idea of having. This is important right here. Although online pre-shopping is popular, 80%, 81% of the people prefer to go into the dealership to buy the vehicle. That's great data, but why? What is the reason for that? I think if we start to pull back the layers, Natalie, we'll find the reason people prefer to go in to buy at the dealership is so they can test drive it. All right, so what we want to do is we want to figure out a way that we can do this kind of all in one fell swoop. All right. Obviously, you can't test drive a car from a mobile configurator, but what we can do is this: we can eliminate the middleman. We can eliminate the salesperson. All right. So how do we do that? Well, you got some really good ideas here. These are great ideas, but we need to take these a step further. How can we tie these into? Okay, so you select your model, you select your color, you select the whole package, right? What kind of tires, what kind of wheels, what kind of luggage racks, the color, the interior, leather, cloth, blah blah blah. We configure the entire car. Now, what can we do from there? We're still going to have to go to talk to a salesman to drive the car, right? Can we eliminate that? Let's try this. Maybe we can add something to your solutions where we can. Once we configure the car itself, we can go ahead and send all of that information to a simulator. Okay, and the simulator is right in the same room, in the next room as the configurator. And the configurator would have, in this case, it would have to be situated in the dealership, or maybe in a remote location, car shows, etc. But what we can do is we can eliminate the salesperson by saying, okay, once we're done with the car, configuring the car, we're going to send the model information, the tires, the drivetrain, the package, the transmission. Going to send that information to a drive simulator. Okay, the drive simulator could be like a pod. You climb in it. It's got hydraulics and it's got screens, 360, so that you can simulate driving the car in different scenarios, like in the ice, in the mountains. You can simulate driving the car after it's got 100,000 miles on it. And then you can also do things, and I would also think about adding other things into your configurator, like resale price based on mileage. And the idea here is to eliminate the middleman, right? So think of other things you can do with your configurator. So I think a great idea is sending it to a drive simulator, and then also giving it the ability to be able to address things like resale value after X amount of miles, um, you know, things like that. Okay, so this is excellent, good job. Prototypes look great. Um, just keep working. And now what you're going to end up doing for the actual project is you're going to take your ideas and combine them with your team ideas, and then try to come up with a really, really outstanding, unique um, uh, solution to what, Natalie? Not to designing a car from configurator, but a solution to change the way that we buy and we purchase automobiles, right? All right, great job, Natalie. Hope my comments make sense. If not, let me know. Of course, I'm right here for questions, but great start. Thank you very much.